Good morning. It's Saturday, February 12th. And this morning I'm going to talk about Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas. Over the last 4 years, Tom Cotton has been one of Donald Trump's staunchest supporters. He has gone to the wall many times in defense of Donald Trump. Now, Tom Cotton is not a dumb man. He has a law degree from Harvard University. He served in the military for 6 years. He was a congressman for 2 years, and then he was elected senator. And this is his second term as a senator. Tom Cotton also has a permit to carry a gun. So, on the day of the siege of the Capitol, when Tom Cotton was in a room hidden with other senators, he believed that his life was in danger and that the situation in the Capitol was so dangerous that he asked one of his staffers to bring his gun to the undisclosed location where the senators were hiding. And he was prepared to use it, supposedly. So, I look at that and I say, this is a fighting man. This is a man who served his country, and he was in the service for 6 years. He's supposedly a skilled soldier. And what does he do? He hasn't got the guts to go get his own gun. He sends a staffer out into the battlefield, so to speak, to get a gun for him. All right? And meanwhile, he remains in a safe room with the other senators. Obviously, nothing really happened with him and his gun, because we would have heard if he had shot somebody or if he had even engaged in a battle with anybody. So after that afternoon in which he was trapped, after the riot, he told one of the reporters that he was armed and indicated he was prepared to shoot and defend the room if the rioters attacked and tried to get into where the senators were. Now, it's legal. Having a gun in the Capitol is legal. You just can't bring it on the Senate floor. And I don't know how far the staffer had to go and how he had to get the gun, but never mind. They're allowed to have guns in the Capitol. So this made for a great story, and on the evening news, it was reported that Cotton had a gun and he was prepared to shoot people and he was defending his senators and everything. And it sounded like a heroic act to many people. But a spokesperson for the senator, somebody named Carolyn Tabler, denied the report. Senator Cotton, she said, did not request a gun that day, nor does he need a gun to defend himself and others under any circumstances. So was this guy a judo expert? One of these kung fu demons from the movies? That he could defend himself and everybody else in the room with people who were running around with American flags carried on a spear? Bullshit. And what's even crazier is that they said he went for a knife. Now, I could believe if he said he went for a sword or something, but he went for a knife against guys with 6-foot spears? Who's he going to defend with a knife? So in the end, I guess Cotton was embarrassed to say that he sent a staffer to get a gun, and maybe that sounded crazy and vigilante-like, that he would have a gun and that he would be prepared to shoot people. I don't know why they wanted to recant the story. But I can tell you this, that Tom Cotton is a liar. And I will state this categorically because when I did some research on his history, this is what I found. When people ask him, how he served in the armed forces, Cotton claimed in campaign ads and videos that he ran from 2011 to 2014 that he had served in Iraq and Afghanistan and earned a Bronze Star as a U.S. Army Ranger, even though he did not serve in the Army's 75th Ranger Regiment. And the people went out and fact-checked on Snopes, and they found out that that was true. He did not serve in the 75th Ranger Division or Regiment. In fact, Congressman Jason Crow, who was in the 75th Ranger Regiment, criticized Cotton for referring to himself as a Ranger. Now, Senator Cotton did graduate from Ranger School and earned a Ranger tab, but he served in combat with the 101st Airborne, not the 75th Ranger Division. Now, I don't know why anybody has to lie about that, except that Ranger Divisions probably carry a little more stature and they sound a little more heroic. You serve in the Army for 6 years, you did your duty. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't have to raise your image from Airborne to Ranger. So when Cotton was confronted with these allegations about his not really actually being a Ranger, he said, look, I graduated from Ranger School and I won a Ranger tab and I wore my Ranger tab when I was with the 101st Airborne in Iraq. And what you guys are doing is trying to politically smear me. Well, maybe it was a political smear, but maybe he wasn't really telling the truth either. So therefore, when I look at this, the episode at the Capitol and the story about the gun, and then the gun becomes a knife, and the next thing you know, maybe the gun would have been a spear or a sword or something. I can't believe this guy. Why? Why would he have to make up a story? Why would he have to say it's a gun and then switch to a knife? And why would he send a staffer out into the melee? Why? Because the guy wasn't fully dressed in his uniform with his AK-47 maybe. And maybe he's too old to go into combat again. So he decided to stay behind with the rest of the senators and send a staffer out into the middle of the battle. And lucky for him, nothing happened to that staffer. And whether the staffer returned empty-handed or returned with a gun or a knife, the staffer went out. And why do we even have to hear this story? Stupid to tell a lie and then contradict yourself and make yourself look like the asshole that you really are. So it's sad in this country that a man like Tom Cotton can become a U.S. Senator. Even though when you look at his credentials, he appears to be a perfect choice. Harvard Law, Army, man with a wife and 2 children, perfect choice, except he's not. So that's all I have for today, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.